mate. There's just something about this office in there. Waking up and having to go to work while you're looking at this countryside, it doesn't get any better than this, I don't think. Has to be the best office in the world. Great Barrier Reef. Lizard Island's just there. God's country. And the conditions, as you can see, are pretty rough, pretty bad. It's terrible. Yesterday we ran out of Cooktown. We're heading north, poking around. What we decided to do all day was not fish a single mark that I'd already had. We went looking for new ground, found a fair few fish, so that worked out pretty well. Yep. Oh. Right now we're just racing sharks. Just had a couple of nice nannies, trout, a few Chinamen. Then a big shark moved in and took one of the nannies, so it's all about going flat out. We're only in 33, 34 metres of water. And the sharks are turned on. I'll show you on the sounder what it looks like when the sharks take a bait, take a fish. Just stroll back. There's a few fish down there, as you can see. We're not going to catch many because of the sharks. And right here is where we were pulling. That's two fish, Maggie and I pulling up. The very next fish got eaten by this shark. You can see all the bubbles and everything there. And yeah, so it looks like we just got to keep on racing them, and if I lose another fish to a shark, we'll be moving on looking for somewhere else. Racing sharks, pulling these big things in. That's why we only run one hook at a time, because they're big fish and I'm not that strong. Just an old fella having a crack, eh?
Not a bad fish at all.
Steady, steady, eh? Like it. That's how we like it. Unless it's a big Chinaman. Wait, don't pull, bub. Stop. You really pulled my hook out. Did it work out?
Sometimes.
See, we've done a whole lot of circles around looking for these fish. There's a big school sitting up high. It's obviously fairly mobile. And as you can see, we've done all these donuts trying to isolate exactly what they're sitting on. They don't look like they're sitting on too much, but there's a little bit of rubbly bottom down there. So it should be enough it's enough for me to pull up and have a bait on anyway. Cruising along, looking for new ground. Come across a little patch of fish, looks quite sizable actually. We couldn't isolate exactly where they were, so we've driven around and around in circles, and eventually we've come across this little, looks like a bit of a old wonky or whatever that's no longer working. Drop a bait down and who knows, see what happens. It's only 38 metres, so should find out in a second if there's fish there. Any life there. And we're on. Just left a hang too that there's a fair amount of fish on. We couldn't get a fish off the bottom because of the sharks. So we only got 500 metres before we found this. Who knows what we're playing with? Oh, playing with sharks. Look at that. Gotta love handline fishing. big shark too. Come on. Yeah, so with fisheries science in the saddletail snapper stock assessment, as you can see, there was a fair amount of fish on the sounder. We just dropped down our first bait. He got smashed, and we can't fish this spot anymore because all we'll do, look at that, he's straightened the hook out. All he'll do is eat more fish, so we're not going to waste them. Pull up the electric and probably send it about 2 or 3 miles and see if we can find fish elsewhere. So in the space of 5 minutes, the sounder was full of life, and then shark moved in. We've managed to get 3 fish basically, 2 nannies and a spangle, and then the sounder's gone completely void. So fisheries will look at that and go, well, there's not many fish left in the ocean because they're not factoring into the shark issues that we have. But effectively we've got to drive away and go find somewhere else where the fish will be, and those fish are moving around a lot more obviously, so which is part of nature. But yeah, there's a lot more work that needs to be done on the science front, particularly around how all these fish behave when sharks are present, and how that's factored into our catch per unit efforts with the science. So today we're going to head a little further north out to the top of the ribbons, and we're going to throw the young fella in. He have a bit of a swim around with his camera and see what he can find, and yeah, we're going to try and find some new ground, chase a few mixed reef species instead of playing around with our favourite nannyguy species. So hopefully catch a few cattle dog and all that other fun stuff in shallower water and keep on going.